Welcome to Project Rewire, where I take you through my journey of living without any online entertainment. Today, we're going to be discussing what happened in August of 2025. This is my 8th month of living without online entertainment. What did I accomplish? What were my findings and discoveries? And what are my objectives for September of 2025? Let's start with my outcomes. What did I get done? What did I accomplish in August of 2025? So August was a lovely month for me. It was a great month. I accomplished, first of all, my second ever marathon. So I ran my second ever marathon just about 4 to 6 weeks after running my first. It was a bit of a nightmare in truth. I didn't have the best preparation, as I'll discuss a little later, but we struggled through. The first marathon I ever did, I was cramping for 20 kilometers of that run. So I thought, okay, I need to make sure that never happens again. Let me adjust my nutrition, add more sodium for the next marathon so this doesn't happen again. Kilometer 24 rolls around for this marathon and boom, cramping is back. So it was another marathon where I basically ran 20 kilometers with almost full body cramps. So it was brutal, it was tough, but we got it done again. It was another good accomplishment for me because I haven't run really ever in my life before this year. I hadn't run more than 10 kilometers. So this was great for me because it shows that I'm progressing. I'm actually, getting some gains when it comes to the running. So first outcome for me was running my second ever marathon just 1 month after my first. Second thing, which is the reason why my training wasn't so good, is I traveled to 4 different continents in 4 different weeks. Now, I did start this about midway through July, so this wasn't the entirety of August. It started in mid-July, ended mid-August. However, we traveled to 4 different continents in 4 different weeks. I did this with my brother. It was a serious adventure. It was a massive journey. I had such an insane time. Big highlight for me was going to Morocco and doing a 2-day hike with zero equipment, basically rocked up in shorts and t-shirt with no water, no bags, no hiking equipment, nothing. And turned out we climbed the summit of the Atlas Mountains, which is the highest mountain in North Africa. We were very, very poorly prepared, but it was a serious journey. It was a lot of fun. So that was great. Also did a bunch of traveling through Europe, did a bunch of, or a little bit of traveling in Asia, in Thailand, and then in Australia as well. So it was quite the adventure. It's quite an adventurous month, but able to get the marathon done on top of all that was nice. The third thing that I did was I've taken on Spanish. So I've started the project of learning Spanish, of trying to become fluent in Spanish. One of the things that I want to do next year is I want to move to South America. I want to do everything that I'm doing here, but just shift it over to South America, to a different side of the world, experiencing the world, taking on another big adventure. So if I want to live in South America, probably a good idea to not rock up completely illiterate. So I'm going to try to become fluent in Spanish by the time I arrive. So that's quite an ambitious goal because I'm pretty damn incompetent at Spanish right now. But we've started the process of learning Spanish. I've put about 150 hours into it, which has been over the course of the last 2 months. So putting more hours into Spanish, trying to learn Spanish. So those were the big outcomes for me. Going to 4 continents in 4 weeks, running my second marathon and taking up learning Spanish and putting a bunch of hours into becoming fluent in Spanish. On top of the fact that we were pretty locked in with the nutrition, the training, everything like that. But those were the big outcomes. What were the big discoveries for this month? This was actually a pretty big month for discoveries for me, for understanding ways of going about living without online entertainment. For me, this was the first month that I've taken on holiday. It started mid-July, ended mid-August, but it was the first real holiday I've taken since removing online entertainment completely. And it was really great to just take me out of the grind, because for the first 6-7 months, it was very grind oriented. It was all just work, work, work non-stop. And to be able to just enjoy being in different places, enjoying being with friends and family, but doing it without online entertainment, it was a huge kind of epiphany for me, where I was like, oh my God, this is better than ever before. This is just beautiful. This is incredible, because not only do you have the benefit when you remove online entertainment of just being able to be super productive, but it's also actually really fantastic for social situations. You have more time to be around other people. You're kind of a more interesting person. You're more engaged in the conversations. You just want to do more adventurous things. It was a massive, massive discovery for me, just being like, okay, I don't need to be grinding all the time. I can kind of step back and enjoy being around other people, enjoy experiencing new places, new things, and do this without online entertainment. Because I've done a lot of holidays in the past where a lot of what I wanted to do was find a place with Wi-Fi or play video games on my phone or just kind of spend time on online entertainment, but not having that desire, that impulse, and that urge. It allowed me to really enjoy the places I was at, which was just amazing. I didn't really appreciate that the aspect of just enjoying where you are, enjoying different places would improve so much, but was the best holiday I've ever had in my life just because I wasn't constantly thinking about trying to get on my phone, try to consume things. I was just trying to really enjoy where I was at. So that was a huge one for me, just getting away from the grind and really enjoying being around other people, socializing, experiencing the world. The second big discovery for me was trying to live my life where I can create an interesting story. What adventures can I go on? What things can I do that creates an interesting story? A lot of us live kind of boring lives. You kind of just float through, you consume your online entertainment, you go to work, you finish the day, you watch TV, you scroll your phone, kind of it. There's not much to it. You might go out on a few big nights out, but there's not much to it. But going on that big trip, it made me realize, wow, I can create a really cool story here. I can go on a lot of really interesting adventures. So it's really opened my eyes up to trying to do more adventures, trying to do more cool and interesting things. That was a huge one. How many awesome adventures can I do? Because you only really need to do 2 or 3 awesome adventures per year to be like, wow, that was cool. That was interesting. I'm adding little pieces to the character when put together, creating that collage of you, of that person, that individual. So the adventures, huge one. The third big one was understanding the importance of relationships. I live in Melbourne. My brother lives on the other side of the country, so I don't see him a whole lot, but spending that month together, it was so great to spend that time building that relationship. I also have a lot of family in Europe, so getting to reconnect with them and just build those relationships, I just realized how important it was to be around other people, to be developing and building those relationships. For those of you who've been following the channel a bit, you know that I did my 6 months of monk mode. I was very work and fitness oriented. There wasn't a lot of time for relationships. It was definitely lacking. This last month, I've definitely indexed more heavily on trying to build and develop those relationships. And it just makes me feel really good. Being around other people, socializing, developing those relationships with your friends and your family, it really does change the quality of your life. There's a reason that people talk about having the 3 buckets of the health, the wealth, and the relationships, trying to fill those up as much as possible. I think the relationships is such an important one. It's often a super overlooked one, but definitely from this month, I'm going to try and spend more time trying to build and develop those relationships. So what are the goals of September 2025? What am I going to try to do? What am I trying to get done? What are the objectives? I reckon this is going to be a massive, massive month for me. It's going to be a really big month, particularly because I'm going to start some projects. I'm going to start some big projects and I'm going to start documenting them, putting them on the YouTube channel, putting them on the Instagrams and all the social medias. But I'm going to start 4 big projects. I'm not going to reveal all of them. Of course, one of them we're talking about right now. In fact, I will reveal them because you may have seen a few of them already. We have Project Rewire, which we are currently in right now, which is me going through and documenting living my life without online entertainment. We have the Fluency Project, where I'm going to take you through the journey of me trying to learn and become fluent in Spanish as quickly as possible. We have the Greek God Project, where I'm trying to maintain a low body fat and build as much muscle as possible, trying to become bigger, trying to become stronger, trying to look good, all that great stuff. And fourthly, we have Project Monthly Marathon. So trying to run a marathon every single month. As you know, I'm not a good runner. I'm a beginner. I only just started this year. I've run 2 marathons in my last 2 months. So I'm going to keep trying to run more marathons, trying to run them better, try to run them less painfully, hopefully not get cramps. But I'm starting those 4 big projects. That's going to be a massive thing. Hopefully that'll make the YouTube channel more entertaining. You guys, I'm sure, are going to probably like that content. So that's going to be a big focus of this month. So downstream from that, the second thing I'm going to try to accomplish is to run my 3rd marathon. This marathon will probably be the easiest of the 3. I hope so, at least, because it is my 3rd marathon. I'm probably going to be in the best training conditions because I'm not recovering from an injury. I'm not traveling to 4 continents in 4 weeks. I can spend a bit of time actually running. So Hopefully this isn't a brutal marathon, although as we've seen from the last few, there may be some twists to the tail, but I'm going to try and run my third marathon of my life in my third month of running marathons. Third thing I'm going to try and do is put 120 hours into learning Spanish, in particular comprehensible input, which is basically where you consume Spanish content with no subtitles, but it has some visual cues so you can understand the content to try and build up your vocabulary, build up your knowledge, understand the language. I'm basically 100 hours away from being able to receive comprehensible input without requiring my eyesight, my vision, so I can listen to it through podcasts in my ears. The reason I'm trying to get this done quickly is because once I can get it done, once I can receive input in my ears, I can just do it so more easily. I can do it while I'm out riding the bike, when I'm, going to the shops, when I'm doing dishes. It just requires less concentration, less focus, less dedicated time. So this is going to be a big month of trying to get that done as quickly as possible. 120 hours essentially means I'm going to need to spend 4 hours every day. So it's going to be quite a difficult task, but I'm just essentially using the comprehensible input as a replacement for how people would use brain rot, how people would just consume social media, consume all their online entertainment. I'm just putting all of that into trying to learn Spanish, trying to get to that 120 hours so that I can receive input through audio only. That's a massive, massive goal for me this month. The fourth one is to continue with consistently just dialing in the nutrition, the training, the sleep, all that stuff. It wasn't perfect last month because I was traveling a bit, of course. You got the jet lag. You're not in an optimal environment for your health. But this month is going to be a big focus on making sure we're back in the routine of eating really well, sleeping really well, training consistently, which is never really an issue for me. Try and make sure that's all locked in. And the fifth objective is to bring my biological age to under 18 years old. So I'm currently at like 18.5 years old according to my Whoop. I'm trying to bring my biological age down below 18, which is basically going to happen if I'm consistent with my sleep, my training, my nutrition, all of that good stuff. Those are my objectives for September of 2025. That is what I kind of discovered from August. That's what I accomplished. That's what I got done. This is the whole point of Project Rewire. How can I remove the online entertainment? How can I replace it with moving towards my goals, with learning the Spanish, with running the marathons, with getting my health right, getting in better shape, building my relationships, doing all of these things? You can see that I have pretty ambitious goals. I've been moving towards them pretty well. It's hopefully going to get better and better over time. You guys are going to see that transformation alongside me. I'm going to document the whole journey. I hope you liked the video. If you did, like the video. That's what the like button's for. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. There's probably some more videos that I posted somewhere around here. So I'll see you in one of those.